Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful reading. I'm Joel Youngs, welcome. In this reading that I'm going to provide you, we're going to look at what's going to happen through this whole entire weekend, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, from, December the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th of 2024. I'm going to look at what's going on through the whole entire energies. I know that this is not a null signs video, not yet. But, this is the way it goes. I'm going to see what's going on through the tarot situation. I'm going to add everything up. I'm going to basically use the oracle cards that you will see in a minute. But this is what it seems to be, because in the way of how this is, it's going to be very interesting on how it goes and how it kind of proceeds with caution and that individuality of how it is, right? There are things that you need to understand where you have to put things into perspective, put things into writing, put things into that way of saying, alright, well, I got this, I know what to do, right? And you think back and you say to yourself and say, well, this is it, this is the way it goes, this is the way it happens, right? So, I know that this is not going to be a long video, but if it is, you know what I'm saying. So, you have to understand about how it is and how you can understand what's going on through your whole entire life, what's happening around you, what's going on, so you have to focus, you have to maintain, you have to do exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and this is the way it goes, this is the way it happens, right? So you have to believe in yourself. It's like, well, I got this, I know what to do, and then you think, okay, well, I know what it needs to be. So in the way of how this reading is going to go, it's going to be very interesting. I want to see what's happening through the whole entire reading, and this is the way it kind of goes to this situation. But this is the way it happens. This is the way of how enjoyment it goes, right? So when you think back and say, well, I got this, I know what to do, it's like, alright, this is very interesting, because now you think to yourself and say, well, this is true, this is how, like, biological estimation, in theory, is the way of how it goes, because you need to understand and say, well, I got this, I know what to do, and then you think back and say, well, what's going to happen? Who's going to annoy, or who's going to, and you see what's happening in this situation. So you need to think to yourself and say, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? So I'm going to tell you what's going on, and I'm going to see what the universe is saying, because, you have to think to yourself and say, well, this is what's going on, and then you think how it is, right? So this is the way it happens. This is the way of how it is, because you think to yourself and say, well, I know what to do, I know how I can do that, right? And you think back and say, well, am I doing this correctly? And then you think to yourself and say, well, this is the way it kind of is, this is the way of how I can accept what I want, right? And how I can feel, because you think to yourself and say, well, I got this, I know what to do, and then you think back and say, well, this is the way it goes, this is the way it kind of ends up being. So this is what the reading is. Let's see. So in this reading, for whoever is watching this, this is going to be very interesting about how this weekend is going to go. So you have the Knight of Swords is upright, you have the Eight of Cups is upright. Eight of Cups represents like entertainment. There might be some entertainment that's coming up through this weekend. The 10 Pentacles, you don't want anything to happen. Two of Cups reversed, like you were relationships or friendships, but not anymore. So there are things that are very like how it is, like the 9 Cups reversed. There's no fulfillment. There's nothing. But the way of how this is, you have to think to yourself is like, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? In theory, is the way of how it goes, where you have to think to yourself and say, well, I got this, I know what to do, right? And you think back and say, well, this is how it kind of is, this is the way it seems to be, right? So let's see. Let's see what's going on. Like, why there's reverse cards here? Why? What's going on here? So what's going on? So I'll do a 3-card reading. I don't normally do it, but I will. So I'm just going to do a 3-card reading because I want to see it. So I'm going to look at this 10 Pentacles. So 10 Pentacles reversed or right, followed by 2 Pentacles upright, followed by the Devil's upright. Yeah, see, this is the way where you're feeling obsession, you're feeling violation. 2 Pentacles is upright because where you could be balancing 2 things at once. That's very interesting. What's also with this 2 of Cups here? 8 Cups reversed, so you had entertainment here, but then you had no entertainment there. Followed by the Judgment, followed by the 9 of Wands reversed, so you're not feeling fear. That's very interesting, okay. What's else with this 9 of Pentacles? The Emperor reversed. The Sun card is upright because you're going to stay positive. And the Lovers is upright because you're going to have making decisions. Yeah, because you could be in love with that situation. You have positivity. These are things that you need to accept them. What's on the 9 Cups here? Page of Wands is upright. The Star is upright. And the Hangman reversed. Yeah, it means that you have no restrictions. But the Star is upright because there's inspirations. There's something that was happening in that perspective. Okay. What's also with this Knight of Swords here? Queen of Swords is upright, followed by the 3 of Swords reversed, and 3 of Wands is reversed. So it means that you're not communicating. Wow, that's very interesting. Alright, so no communication. What's also with this 8 of Cups here? 2 Wands reversed. The Empress is upright, followed by the Queen of Cups reversed. So there's empathy. There's no empathy. There's no 2 sides of a story here. The Empress is upright because there's nourishment. You might get yourself pregnant, maybe you're not. But that's what it seems to be. Alright, so I know what the universe is kind of saying something. But does it give me that peace of mind? Like, does it give me the way it kind of goes? Like, my God. Like, my golly of how this is. So what's going on here? Like, what's happening with this Devil situation? The King of Swords is upright, followed by the 3 of Cups is upright. Okay. And the Knight of Swords reversed. Okay, so I understand that. Right, so the King of Swords is upright because you're having that support, or you have knowledge, or whatever you have, but it does represent a masculine situation. Like, as a man situation. Alright. Tell me something that's interesting about this whole entire reading for this weekend. But you got to have some peace of mind here. What's in the middle here? Knight of Wands is upright. So the King of Swords is upright here. Then you have the Knight of Wands here. What's also with this Sun card? 2 of Cups is upright. What's also with this 3 of Wands here? Judgment reversed, followed by the Wheel of Fortune is upright. Yeah, because you're having good luck on your side. Wow. What's this opposite? It's Knight of Swords here. The Hierophant is upright, yeah, because you want guidance. You want things to be in that perspective moment. So it does think that everything is all peaceful, but you want relationships, you want friendships, you want things to happen in a split second. Wow. Like, it does feel that way of saying, alright, well, I got this. I know what to do. So what's going on? Like, I don't want to do a diagonal, but if I did, I want to see it. So I'm going to go from a diagonal, so I'll do the Three of Wands. I'll do it as the Hierophant is up right here, plus the Hierophant is up here as well. Okay, then you have the Empress is upright, okay, followed by the High Priestess upright, followed by the Tower is upright. Yeah, see, this is the Hierophant, the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Tower. See, you have two feminine, one masculine in this situation. So there could be a guy and a woman situation. The Tower is having all of these transformations. Everything is transforming. Everything's changing bit by bit, you know. It happens from day by day, week by week, month to month, and year by year. You know, if you follow by that, you follow everything that it seems to be into that situation. And when you look at it, you think, okay, well, everything's fine, everything's peaceful. But then you think back and say, well, I got this. I know what to do, right? So you think to yourself and say, well, this is the way it kind of happens. Because now you know that when things go a different way, you have to think about how it is. So let's see what the Oracle cards are going to tell me this entire story. And we'll do a 3-card reading again. So I'm going to say what this Hierophant is. Feeling regret, discipline, change. Yeah, see? So you have guilt, like regret here. Then you have discipline. Then you have change. Right? So that's what this is, right? Because that's what remains in this situation, right? Because you're feeling like there's discipline, you're feeling like there's change, there's regret, you know, there's all these things, right? That's how it is, right? Is you're feeling regret, you're feeling discipline, then you have change. You know, everything changes, like the seasons are changing, the plans are changing, everything else is changing. What's this Empress card is? Fear is upright, pride is upright, and growth is upright. Yeah, see? Fear, right? You have fear, right? And then you have pride, then you have growth, right? So you have all these. Then the High Priestess is upright. I want to see what that is. Perseverance, love that card. The Trust, yeah. And humor. Yeah, see, you have perseverance, trust, and humor. You have these, right? Because you start from guilt, discipline, change, fear, pride, growth, perseverance, trust, and humor. Now, what's this Tower about? The Death card is upright, worry is upright, and then you have envy. Well, it is reversed, but it is upright. So, you know, everything will change in split seconds, because you have all these things are going where, you know, envy is, I'm the same as everybody, but with different challenges. You know, you look at that. If you look at the word worry is, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. You know, that's what it seems to be, right? So you have to believe, and you have to know that you have to do this and say, well, everything kind of changes in a split second. You know, because when you have all this dialogue, you think that, okay, well, everything's fine, everything's standing, everything is all worshipped. So you have to think back and say, well, this is a time for the way it goes. This is the way of how you can, proceed with caution, or you do exactly what you're told to do. So you have to believe on how it is, like how it kind of remains. Like, I want to see who's doing this. I want to see, what's going on with all these cards here. So I'm going to make it as a diagonal that I just did. So I'm going to see it. So who's on the left side? The Hermit is upright, okay? That's Page of Swords is upright. Three of Swords is upright. And the Eight of Swords is upright. Yeah, see, you have anxiety here. You have the heartbreak here. Page of Swords, it could be education. And the Hermit is upright because it's solitude, but you're looking for a soulmate at the same time, right? So you have all these ways of how this. The Oracle cards does make sense because you do exactly what you're told to do, because you think back and say, well, I got this, I know I can do it, I know I can see it, but the way of how you can proceed with caution, you think that, okay, well, everything's fine, right? You do exactly what you're told to do, be responsible about the way of how it goes. Because when you look back, you think about this and say, well, this is how it is. This is the way of how I can do it. This is the way of how it is. This is not like concrete, messed up, whatever. It's the things where you can look at it and say, well, I got this, So when you think to yourself and say, well, I got this, I know what to do, you have to believe that you can do it. It doesn't remember like saying, all right, well, I got this, I'll do it now. What I'm saying is, what the universe is saying, you do exactly what you're told to do. Be responsible, right? Be responsible when you have change or discipline or regret or growth or fear or anything that I can tell you, but the oracles were saying. You have to think to yourself and say, well, is it me? Is it somebody else? Is it wrong? You do what you're supposed to be doing, and you have to face the facts about this is the way about how this reading is going to go. This is the way it happens. This is the way of how you can do it. See your own moment. See about how this is like almost like a tension getter for everybody. You have to pay attention about how you can do this, how you can promote your own emotions, your own feelings, your own backdrops of how it is, right? If you're having a good day, fine. If you're having a bad day, so be it. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has good days, but you have to proceed with caution. You have to, whatever happens, whatever you have a give and take situation, like where, when the Three of Swords is upright, it's heartbreak. Like you're feeling sad. You're whimpering. You're feeling sad because nobody likes you or something. Like, not to be mean or rude, but I'm just saying about that. Like even the Eight of Swords is upright. It has anxiety. Like you're feeling sad. You don't know what to do. Take my advice. If you drink coffee and you do that, and you have coffee, whatever it is, it will help your anxiety. It does, right? Like for me, for instance, if I drink coffee, I'm okay. It helps me out jittery, whatever it is. But it helps you for your anxiety or something like that. It helps you to feel all happy and all generalized and all that. But you do what you can. You have to focus that ability from that right and wrong perspective. Everyone has perspectives. Everyone has all rights if they do. But you have to think to yourself and say, well, is this the way it goes? This is the way of how it kind of promotes. And when it does, you have to feel like, okay, well, I got this. I know what to do, right? So you have to think to yourself and say, well, this is like an opportunity. This is like a guideline. This is the way of how I'll do it in one way or another. This is like almost like a stepping stone situation. I'm giving you the steps. You're following the way of going up those stairs, to get what you want, or you see the sight or whatever it is. You have to do exactly what you're told to do. You do exactly what you need to do. You need to focus on your rights and the abilities from the right and wrong perspective, or you need to know about the 5 W's, where it would be like who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how in that situation. This is what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm not trying to be mean or rude, I'm not trying to get myself all angry or anything else, but you have to pay attention about if this does happen in the way of how this is, you have to believe on what I'm saying, believe about how everything is going to be all, combust or whatever it is. It's the way of how you can see it. It's the way of how you can understand that, right? This is the way it happens. This is the way of how guidance is, right? You have to know about that, because when everything is all good, you have to think to yourself and it's like, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing this correctly? You do what you can, because you have to focus on that ability. Focus on that, where everyone has the human rights, Human Rights Act, like where everyone needs to have ability of their ways of saying, all right, well, I got this, I know what to do. Everyone has, the ability from their own perspective of trying to have a good day rather than having a bad day, right? So you need to understand where you have all these changes, right? You have all these ways, because when you have the tower that was upright that I showed you about, it has transformation. Everything changes in a split second, So you need to understand where you need to give yourself a way of how it goes. Give yourself a brand new opening and say, well, I got this. I know what to do, You have to face your abilities from the right and wrong. You need to approve yourself and say, well, I got this. I know what to do. This is the way it happens. This is the majority of understanding about how that way of how it goes, where you have the majority about opening the key, have the key to open any door. That's the positive thing. If you have the majority and you don't have the key, you can't open doors, and that's the negative thing. So, you have to understand that if there's one door closes, another one opens. That's a good saying right there. You have to pay attention to that. You have to go with the flow, or slow and steady wins the race, or anything like that. You need to promote with that. Promote about that way of saying, well, I got this. I know I can do it. This is the way it happens. Society will give you positivity in life rather than giving you grief, rather than giving you unsatisfaction, guaranteed, This is a feeling about how you can do it, no matter what it takes, no matter how you do exactly what you're doing, because it does. It does involve you, and that's what it seems to be, right? So, I know that I'm going to do maybe the oracle cards of the animals that you're going to see in a few more minutes. You're also going to see the enchanted map that I'm going to read you, because I need to do that for you as well. Also, I will use the Lenormand Oracle. It will tell you about the December months and all the months that will show you in a few more minutes. But what I'm saying is, through this whole entire situation, you have to believe and say, well, I got this. I know what to do. I need to control my emotions. When you control your emotions, you need to have that perspective of how it is, right? you have to know about the way of how you can believe that you got this. You know what to do, right? So you have to do what you can and focus on what's right and not wrong. So this is what it seems to be. Like, this is a lot of information I'm telling you, right? I'm having some coffee here, and it helps me as well. But just to let you know, about if you're drinking coffee, have a little sprinkle of salt in it, and it helps your digestion or something like that. It helps that. It's a little bit bitter, but it's a way of how you can understand that. But back to my own skit here, my own conversation here. You have to understand that this is the way of how it is. Life is gonna hit you from behind or in front of you or whatever. You have to make your own decisions. You have to make on how it is, because everyone has a different body, a different system, a different emotions, a different ways, if they're working, if they're not working, if they're having a good day at school or you're gonna have a bad day at school, or someone's picking on you, whatever it is. You have to focus about what's going on through that perspective. Act accountably for your emotions and your feelings. That's what it seems to be. Okay. Because this is a lot of information that I'm just telling you. It's a lot. Okay. So I understand that this is a very huge reading so far. It's very huge. And this is the way it kind of happens, because this is what's going on. So in the reading here that I'm going to see this, this is the way it kind of goes, because I need to think about what's happening. So it's basically giving me like a lot of information here. But does it give you anything that you can think of and say, well, I got this, I know what to do? So let's see what this Hermit card is, because I'm going to do a 3-card reading again, because I'll need to know about that. So the Chariot reverse, there's no progress. 10 Pentacles upright, there's wealth, right? And then there's Magician is upright because there's skill. See, there's ability where you have the wealth and you have skill. That's all you can do. That's the way it goes. This Page of Swords up here, I'm going to see how that is. The Fool is upright, and the Page of Swords is upright that I just did to clarify the Page of Swords, because now that says education, and the Fool is change. Even when you have this change card as this Oracle card, that's how it is. Right, so everything will do that in a split second. Now, the Three of Swords is upright. I want to see how that is. The World is upright for completion. Wow, look at that. The Wheel of Fortune reversed because you're having bad luck. And then you have the Ten of Swords is upright because you're having basically these conclusions. That's how it is. Right? Now, when you have the Eight of Swords is upright, you have the Nine of Swords reversed. There's no trauma. Then you have the Two of Swords is upright because you're in this crossroads. And also you have the Five of Cups reversed. There's no grief. Three of Cups reversed. There's no celebrations. Strength of reversed. There's no bravery. The High Priestess reversed. There's no inner voice. The Ace of Swords reversed. There's no understanding. So this is like a misunderstanding. Someone's actually misunderstanding. I have no idea why. But then you have the Eight of Wands upright because you have speed. right? Because you're going to have speed because that's how it is. But when you have the way of how you have the Ace of Swords reversed, because there's no understanding, you're misunderstanding. You are misunderstood what I'm saying, or it's like while you have the Ten of Swords and stuff, right? Because you have all these conclusions, it's the way of how it is, right? It's the way of how you can understand that, right? This is how you can try to figure this out. You have to read between the lines, or you have to do what you can, because you have to think to yourself and say, well, am I doing this correctly? This is the way it happens, right? So when you think about it, you think that, okay, well, everything is going to have a good day, or how everything is. Everything is going to be happening, and it is true, because you think to yourself, it's like, well, this is the way it happens. This is the majority of the way it goes. This is the way it kind of is, because when you think about it, you think that, okay, well, everything is happening. Yes, it is, but does it make sense, or it doesn't? You tell me in the comments below. But that's what it seems to be, right? You have to pay attention to this whole entire reading, because does it fit you? Does it kind of acknowledge on what's happening around that situation? So you have to think to yourself and say, well, this is how it seems to be. This is the way it goes. This is the way it happens. This is the way it goes, because when you think about it, you say, alright, well, this is the way it happens. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does. But when you have the Ten of Swords upright, you have all these conclusions. Right? So you have to understand that this is the way it happens. This is like the majority of it is. Right? That's why it makes sense. And also going to be telling you about the dice coming up. But you know what I'm saying. Like, this is the way of how it is. Like, this is the way of how everything will happen in a split second. Like, it does, right? It does, because this whole entire thing, like, look at this. You could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be dealing with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You're dealing with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. All of these is like, that's how it is. Like, you try to make a fool out of myself. It's not. It's the reading. Think about it. Think about it in your own entire reason and say, well, this is what's going on. This is the way it happens. Right? So when you think about it, you think everything does make sense. But you will tell me in the comments below, okay? That's what it seems to be, right? Like, it kind of frustrates me a little bit, but it just how it is, right? Because it's the way it happens. This is the way it kind of concretes the situation. So I'm just going to try to do a few more oracle cards to think about what's going on through this whole entire situation. Because this is like a weekend reading. This is the weekend of this is. Like, this is not an all signs reading, but I want to see if this is going to connect you all on how it is. Like, I'm going to see what's this Ten of Pentacles is, and the Magician. I'm going to see what the Oracle says for it. So basically, stay connected is the first one. That's how it is. You're going to stay connected, right? That's what it seems to be. So what's this Fool and this Page of Swords is about? Basically, you have nature. Yeah, so you could be having education because you're going to have nature. Maybe you're going to go out with a field trip. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. Right? So you're in this, how it is. Okay, so what's opposite with this? You have the completion, you have everything else, but I'm going to reveal what's happening through this situation here. So let's see. You have synchronicity. You have basically choices. Wow. You have support. Okay, so that could be like the King of Swords. In one way, you could be having support. See all these? Like, this is the way it kind of happens. This is the way of how it is. Like, this is the way of how you can focus that ability of saying, well, I got this. I know what to do. Right? Because you think back and say, well, I have synchronicity. That's how it seems to be. Like, this is what's going on through this situation. Like, this is like almost like a connecting board. You know what I mean by a connecting board? Everything has to be all connected, like connect the dots. And then you see what the picture is, right? That's what it seems to be. Like, this is what's going on. Like, this is a huge reading, by the way. A huge reading. Because this is huge. I'm not making this up. This is a huge reading on what's happening through this whole entire way of how it is. Like it says for the support, it says people come into your life for many different reasons. Like, that's what it seems to be for this support card. It does make sense. Like, it's the way of how it is. It's the way of how you can promote on what's going on. Because you look at this and you think, okay, well, I got this. It's like, yeah. Like, it does make sense. It does. But you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. So think about this. Think about how what I'm saying is in this whole entire reading. Because if it does make sense, and if it does, and it really seems to be that way of how it goes, you do what you can. Because this is a whole entire reading of how it is. Like, let me do the dice first. I'll give you 4 dice. So you have 6, 6, 4, and 4. So basically in this month, so you have December 12th, you have June, and then you have June and August of the months. So these are the months. Your houses will be in your 12th house, your 6th house, your 8th house, your 4th house. So this is what it seems to be, right? So all these, the dice will basically, I'll put that in the description box so you can read that as well. Okay, so just understand about this whole entire reading as well. So we got that taken care of. Put that over there. Now I'm going to do the animals of how it is. So I just want to see what's happening through this reading here. So I'm going to see what's going on with this stay connected. So you have the buffalo, says be thankful for all you have. The monkey is try something new. The cougar is saying you can do it. And the fox is say do secret favors for others. So try to do that. You know, that's what it kind of remains of it. That's what it seems to be. The fairies, I'm going to do those as well. Then we'll do the Laura Maiden coming up, and then the enchanted map for the last one. This is a huge reading, by the way. It's huge. So the moon energy, you have the light, you have look in a book, then you have the hidden depths. So basically that's what it seems to be for that. Okay, so you have the moon energy, you have light, you have look in the book, and then you have hidden depths. That's what it seems to be, right? Because you know, something hidden is about to come to light, you know, that's what it seems to be. You know, look in the book is whatever your question right now, you will find the answer in the book, you know, that's what it seems to be. So there are things that you need to understand where it will be that perspective way of how you can understand that situation. I said what the Lord mean and didn't I? Yes, I did. So this would tell me about the months as well, like who was doing this, who was saying about this. So it does tell me what's happening through this whole entire reading. Like I say, this is just a weekend reading, but this is just how it kind of is. This is what's going on. So I'm going to see what this is. So I'm going to read you one of these cards. Number 17. Oh, this is a good one too. So let's see. Let's see what's happening in the book of 17. So 17 represents the stork, meaning it says pregnancy, birth, meeting with friends and relatives. It says number C, it says fruitless, late, interrupted project, postponed decision. You know, that's what it is. Timing from 11th to the 20th of June. So this could be maybe next year, but it could be that perspective of how it is. Advice, it says, don't shoot ahead, but wait patiently for what you really want. You know, that's what seems to be in this situation. So it could be in the June, it could be Gemini in that situation, it could be an air sign situation, that's how it was. So you could be understand about how it is. You know, if there were something that was happening, don't know if there's anything that was wait. Let's see. I'm trying to redo it. Position 3, unexpected events is a letter D. It says an unexpected position or hoped for a return to company headquarters or branch closer home. So you be maybe looking for working for home or something, and maybe that could be very interesting of how it is, right? It could be that. It could be for position 3. For position 2, as a present for money, it says money spent with pleasure for family party and purchases to decorate your house, right? It could be, this is the way of how it is. You could be decorating for Christmas, maybe you could be decorating for other things that are going to come up. It could be how that was. Let's see. So letter C, it says negative financing negotiations blocked by unforeseen circumstances, right? So, you wait for the moment of time. You're going to do it exactly how it is, because, you do what you can, but you have to be what's going on in this whole entire reading, because you think that, alright, well, I got this, I know what to do. And then you think that, okay, well, everything's fine, everything's peaceful, everything is how it is, right? So when you think back, you think, okay, well, I got this, I know what to do. So you could be dealing with another Gemini in this situation, as another air sign. So this could be a very interesting way of how it is, but this is the way it kind of happens. So if you're in a Gemini situation of this whole entire reading, or if you're a Gemini rise moon, whatever it seems to be, you have to pay attention to it. Pay attention about this whole entire block of this situation, of this reading that I'm telling you about, because this is like a weekend kind of reading kind of thing. But this is not an all signs video. No, it's not. But I'm just telling you that this is just the way the reading goes, right? So it kind of happens in the way of how you can do it, because you have to think to yourself and say, well, I got this, and you have to in that way, right? So this is the way it kind of goes in the perspective. Alright, so now I'm going to read you the enchanted map. Let's see what's going on through this whole entire reading. Now I'm going to read you this. Alright, so let me read you it. Number 15, One Ring, Circus. Number 15. Number 15. So this is the way it kind of goes. Alright, so this is like a long upright reading. So if it's upright, fine. If it's reversed, then that's how it is. But this is the way it kind of goes, and this is the way it happens. So here we go. Ahem. One ring circus. You're capable and competent. It says here. It says, upright. Independence is key now as you step into your journey today. Others may not have the vision or resources that you need. Recognize that all the wisdom you have acquired along the way makes you particularly competent, capable of moving forward with assurance. Self-resilience is important. Another aspect to consider is creating and maintaining clear boundaries between you and another. Be discerning about your partnerships at this time. When you know who you are and have a healthy sense of where you and others begin, you have able to enter into the best kind of relationships and will attract people who mirror back your wholeness. Interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulating, and motivative. You can achieve anything at this time. So that's what it seems to be, because it's the way it happens where you can be have interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulating, and motivated. So you have to understand where could be a relationships of how it goes, and you need to face the abilities from that right and wrong perspective of how it goes, because you think back and say, well, I got this, I know what to do. And then you think back and say, well, this is the way it kind of goes, because you have to think to say, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing this correctly? And things will go as it goes along. So you have to think and say, well, I got this. I know what to do. And then you think back and say, well, this is the way it goes. This is the way of how I can promote this, right? So before I let you go, pay attention about what's happening around this situation. Pay attention about what's going on through this whole entire situation of how it goes, because you need to pay attention to it. You need to self-absorb of how it goes. You have to think and read between the lines of how it goes, right? So this is the way it happens. This is the way of how you need to do it, as long as it needs to. This is like a one-all-fits-all situation, something like that. But this is the way it goes. This is how it's going to be. And you need to think about yourself and say, well, this is an opportunity. This is the way of how I can do it. And, have my own completion of saying, well, I got this. I know I can do it. So this is the way of how you can pay attention of how you're feeling, how the way it goes, how you can do what you can, because this is the way of how it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. I hope that you will give it a like, give it a comment, and I hope that you can give me comments in this video and see what you think. And this is how it goes. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next time. And have a good day. Thank you. Bye for now. Really. Bye.